Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Coast to Coast Cousins. We are two realtors and two cousins on different coasts. My name is Nigel Wingate. I live in New York. I specialize in servicing Long Island and Queens, New York, and I also venture out into the city as well. And this is my cousin, Joey.laureano, who lives in Florida, and he specializes in servicing Orlando. And he's going to talk about the areas that he knows best in Florida. And today we're going to talk about the which place has better things to do, New York or Florida. We're going to get into it, everything from outdoor activities to entertainment, everything. We're going to go back and forth about which place has the better things to do. So, how you doing today, Joey? How's everything?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm excited to get into this topic and to share my life experiences of living in Florida. Uh, well, more Orlando now, but yeah, not Miami.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I think that's going to be a good insight that you're going to be able to give to people, being that you not only do you know Orlando inside out, but you've also lived in Miami a majority of your life as well. So you have a good understanding of
Yep.
Miami as well and other areas. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into today's topic. I think there we live in two very different states,
hmm
two different lifestyles, and there's so much that we can get into. So let's just get into it, right? So I'm gonna try to keep it as organized as possible, but let's just talk about, when it comes to, everyday life, right? In terms of restaurants, in terms of coffee shops, shopping, events, the downtown areas and stuff like that. Just everyday life overall. Which place do you think has a better lifestyle? And give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, again, it really boils down to the type of lifestyle that you're looking for. Because I think in both places you're gonna find coffee shops, you're gonna find dining, you're gonna find things to do, right? But do you like, how do I explain it? So in New York, you're always walking around, you're always on the walk. You're using the subway, you're not really needing to drive, kind of depending on where you are in New York, right? I mean, if you're in Long Island, it's different. Orlando, you got to drive everywhere. So if you want to stop for coffee, you got to stop at a coffee shop. Got to park your car, walk inside, or go through drive-through, which is which is definitely something that's different because driving is definitely something in Orlando that you have to do to get anywhere, unless you live somewhere where stuff is like right across the street from your complex, which is possible as well because a lot of these new communities, um, a lot of them have amenities like that close by, like Publix or Starbucks or Dutch Bros or I mean Chili. I mean, I can go on, right? It depends on what you're looking for. So if I had to pick which one, I would say it just really depends on what kind of lifestyle you're looking for. If you want a busy lifestyle, busy, you don't want to drive, right? You want to be on the go, walking around, stop by the nearest coffee shop that you find, right? I would say New York is the better fit for that. If you don't care to walk around, you don't like walking everywhere, and you're fine with driving a car everywhere, then I would say Orlando's the better fit. Because you can pick whatever coffee shop you want to go to, right? If you like to drive and pick your favorite one, right? I think in New York, you kind of like know your path. I know some people will walk a same type of path to work every day, taking the train. They take their same stops. They probably take their same routes, and they probably stop at their same, coffee shops or wherever it is they stop. Right? I don't know if I'm getting that right or wrong, but um, based off when I went to New York, that's what we did. We had a one route that we picked to go see Christine's family, and we took that same route back.
Are you
So
trying to say that New York is boring? Is that what you're trying to say?
I wouldn't say it's boring. I would say honestly, I think New York for me is a little more entertaining because it's more just walking and
Hmm.
doing the subway. It's different than what I'm used to, right? There's more
Yeah.
there's more things going on. Here in Orlando, it's I get in my car, I turn it on, and then I just drive, right? I do the same thing every day. Um, I wouldn't say there's anything too special about that. But I will say the pro is if I want to go Dutch Bros instead of Starbucks, I can do that easily. But if I have a single route that I go every single day and Dutch Bros is not on the way and maybe Dunkin' Donuts is, I'm just gonna do Dunkin' Donuts instead. I mean, vice versa, you could still do that anywhere that you live, right? Um, but I would just say in New York, I don't know. It's a tough question. I think it really boils down to just what type of lifestyle do you want? What do you
Mm.
value? What's your favorite kind of coffee? I mean, everyone I talk to swears up about Starbucks, but I've heard about some small shops here in Orlando that are pretty good.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
what do you think? What are your feelings on that? I think that's a tough question.
I think New York hands down is better, when it comes to
Yeah,
everyday life. I mean, just in every way possible. I think it's better than Florida, anywhere you go, whether it's Orlando, Miami, anywhere you go. But in all seriousness, I think, both places have a lot to offer. I think I think in terms of overall variety, I think, New York, particularly Manhattan, has more variety to offer in terms of, restaurants, coffee shops, etc. I think there's just so many restaurants. But there's a good diversity as well in Orlando. It's not like, you guys have a lot of food there too.
we
Um,
do a lot.
so yeah. So I think it's pretty even. I think I would give New York probably the nod though, just in terms of more variety. I think there's more cultures and just more diversity in New York, and as a result, there's just a little bit more food options,
I I can agree with that. I
you
mean, your
know?
pizza's pretty damn good. I have
Yeah,
to admit, there's
yeah,
nothing like New York pizza. I have not found anything like New York pizza here. There's
yeah.
nothing that's like.
But you guys
I
got some
would
great
say
food
the
down there though too. You got good Cuban food and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean we do have our strengths here in Florida in terms of food, Cuban, Hispanic food, that's probably like our strongest
Yeah.
suit. Miami more in terms of the Hispanic side, but you could definitely find some really good Hispanic food. There is a really, really good Puerto Rican place that we love to go to. Um, I will definitely post a picture of it right now. But really nice place. I will say that I will admit that New York, I feel like may have in terms of like food. I think food might be a little bit better in New York, just in terms of the culture. I can agree with that. Based off my experience, like when we had Chinese there, pizza. I mean, it's a different experience. Um, and honestly, I liked it better over there than here. That's just my opinion of being honest, right? Um, so I'll give New York the edge in that one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I gotta respect that. So next let's talk about outdoor activities, right? So, that's I think anyone who's debating on making a move, either making a move from New York to Florida or maybe vice versa, that's something that's going to be a deciding factor for a lot of people is the outdoor life. The city is not for everybody. Some people enjoy doing more things outdoors. I know I'm definitely an outdoor guy. I love the beach.
Mhm.
I love skiing. And I know you like, hitting up the slopes as well. You're a snowboarder. Um, I know generally you're a pretty outdoorsy kind of guy as well. So, if you had to compare the two in terms of, who's got the better beaches, hiking, biking, all that type of life, just for the outdoorsy kind of person, just what are your overall thoughts on, which place is better, um, and, just what Orlando has to offer for Florida as a whole? What are your
Based
kind of your
off
thoughts?
based off my experience, I mean, obviously I lived in Miami most of my life. I've been living in Orlando for about 4 years now. And I gotta say, in terms of what there is to do, there is really this there's no limits on what you can do outside other than enjoying snow, right? But if you really want to enjoy snow so bad, you can take a vacation out of it, right?
Right.
It's not like it's impossible to find the four seasons. You can always take a trip to do it, but I would say that's the biggest con, right? We don't have any of that, but you could find events where they do fake snow, where they try to bring it to life in some ways, snowballs, all that stuff, right? There's some cool events.
Yeah.
Even like when we did Gaylord Palms there, hotel, right? They had this really, really, really cool. It was during Christmas time. They have this frozen. They have these frozen sculptures, and we walked into this room. They make you wear this coat, and I'll be damn honest with you. I thought it was going to be, a joke,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. I was freezing. I was like, bro, this is crazy. I actually feel like I'm out in New York right now in like 10-degree weather. Like it's freezing.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I was kind of shocked. They had fake
Yeah, you guys get
snow and all
shocked
this stuff
anytime
there.
it gets a little chilly out there.
Yeah, yeah. So I will say, like, in terms of obviously rain, right? We live in the tropics, so you will have on and off rain, which can sometimes ruin outdoor activities, like you want to go to Disney World and stuff. But it honestly, it rains on and off usually. It doesn't usually rain all day, every day, all the time. It'll rain maybe for an hour or 20, 30 minutes. It's just on and off. I would say in Orlando, it does not rain as much. Not nearly as much as Miami. I feel like when I lived in Miami, it was like it would rain like all the time, afternoons.
Yeah.
Um, because when you live on the coast, you tend to hit more of those streams of weather that passes through. Um, in Orlando, typically since we're so inland, by the time the weather gets to us, it's not really much of anything, right? But we do get occasional bad thunderstorms and stuff during this time of the year when summer comes in. But I will admit we're in a drought right now, for example. So not
Wow,
much rain,
really?
right? Yeah, we're in a drought right now.
Wow, that's
I can
crazy.
only water my grass once a week right now. That's how bad it's been.
Wow, that's
So
insane. I didn't even know Florida got
yeah,
droughts.
so yeah, they're finding people. They find you watering on the wrong day, they will find you. It's not a joke.
What?
Yeah, they're doing this whole it's like on phase three right now. It's like a water restriction um little thing they got going on right now. It's to prevent um over usage of water because it's not raining enough here, so we're not getting a lot of water. And because of that, because of the drought, there's a lot of fires that are happening. So we need all the water we can get to combat that fire, all that stuff, just to keep everyone safer. They're telling people to limit the use of water and whatnot. So that's been happening, right? But for example, in terms, just getting back on topic, I will say just I can't complain about the things that I'm able to do here. Like I can go to Disney World whenever I want. I can go to Universal whenever I want. So I will say that I feel like in terms of who has more of the edge, I would say Florida does just because all year round you're able to go out whenever you want. You will have your days it rains. That's going to happen, right? Even in New York, that's going to happen too. But you guys get
No, it
snow.
never rains
You
here,
guys
ever.
get that. You guys get that crazy snow weather sometimes where you can't really go out or you're stuck at the house, right? You can't go biking or you know what I mean. You can't go
Dude, it rains here
somewhere.
all the time.
Yeah. So I feel like in New York, in terms of not that you don't have anything to do, you just have more of those seasons that kind of prevent you from having that free life where you can just go out every single day, right? And go biking and go running and all that stuff. Because it gets really cold over there. It does. I went and saw the snow myself and shoveled it. Did not enjoy that. Not that I didn't love the snow part. Snow part was very pretty. We'll say that. I will say I can appreciate that. But and I don't know how you guys live, shoveling snow and as that's tough. I have to give it to the people out there that do it.
You guys from Florida are
Man.
just soft, man. That's just what it is, you know? You're
I
not as
think
tough as
so
New
too.
Yorkers.
I'm used to the sun, man. I'm used to that hot weather, and I'm not used to freezing and
You guys are
having to plan
spoiled.
my day more thoroughly.
You're
Uh,
spoiled. And then you like to rub in how nice your weather is to us, freezing New Yorkers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Terrible.
But pretty much I would just get Florida the edge. I don't know how you feel on it, but I will stick strong on Florida.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what you could do outdoors, uh, there's a lot to do in Florida. To be honest, I've done some kayaking in Florida. I really haven't done like any hiking or anything like that. I've never done any of that type of stuff in Florida, to be honest. When
We
I've
got
gone
we got
to
that.
what is
We
that?
got that here. We got hiking here.
Yeah, 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 I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. But I've just done like uh, like Ocean Drive, like Miami, like that type of whole experience. And then, I've done like Disney and I've done some rafting before, but I really haven't done much like outdoorsy activities like that. So I can't really speak on Florida. But what I can say is in New York, you got Central Park, like we know where I'm at, right? Like Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn. there's so many options, right? Like you can take an hour upstate, you can head, the mountains up there. You can go skiing in the wintertime. We've got Central Park in Manhattan. We've got Prospect Park in Brooklyn. We've got all kinds of different state parks that you can go to out on the island where you can go hiking, like out in
Mm-hmm.
Montauk. You got Sunken Meadow State Park that you can go to, beaches. There's various different bike trails, that you can go to in Long Island. You've got Eisenhower State Park, which is another great place that you can go for like hiking and bike riding and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you've got we can do whale watching in certain areas when you go far out east during the summertime. There's fishing, paddleboarding. There's just so much stuff that you can do outdoors. It's just you got to do it in the summertime. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because the wintertime it gets cold. But it's cool because you can go upstate. You can go to the Catskills. They have some great mountains up there. There's a mountain called Bel Air Mountain that you can go to. Great mountain. You can go to Pennsylvania. You can go upstate. You can go to Vermont, which is about 2, 3 hours away. You
Mm-hmm.
can go up there. You can hit, Mount Snow. You can hit Kellington. Some really, really good mountains that you can go on. They're not as steep as they're not as advanced as the mountains that you would see on the West Coast,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in a Park City or Copper Mountain or something like that. But, for the East Coast, these are some of the best mountains that you're going to see, and you get some good runs. So you do have those options in the wintertime. So I'd say there's a lot that you can do here in the summer, but I say, Florida, you definitely have the option. It's more comfortable
Yeah. It's
throughout the year
slow. You
about
have
the weather.
So I'm gonna elaborate more on my daily life, right? So I'm just gonna give people who are watching, right? I've lived here, right? So I'm gonna tell you things that I do, right? So in Miami, when I lived in Miami, one of the things that we would do all the time is go out biking. We go
Yeah,
biking a lot. There's exercise you can do. You can go running. We would go to the mall, Dolphin Mall, the Falls, Dayland Mall, and just to be frank, obviously the beach. People swear that if you live in Miami, you're at the beach all the time, right?
yeah,
I was not that person. I'm not a beach person. I do love our beaches, but I will say I don't enjoy the sand and stuff, so it's
yeah,
not really my favorite place to be. But I will admit it's beautiful. It can be relaxing in its own way. I would also say Miami's more of like a party city. So
yeah,
if you like the nightlife, Miami's more your avenue, right?
yeah. It's not
That's
really
the
my
place to do
scene.
it. Orlando, you know what I mean? It's more slow here. It's quiet. The nightlife, there is nightlife here, but it's not Miami nightlife. Nothing can match Miami nightlife. That is a different level on its own, right?
Hmm.
But what do I do here in Orlando? I live in a resort style community, number one. So if I want to go on a nice stroll, I can. If I want to eat at a restaurant without leaving my community, I can do that. If I want to go to a nice pool without owning one, I can do that. If I want to go to a gym without leaving my complex, but a nice gym, not a tiny nothing gym. This is actually a decent gym. I can do that. If I want to take my kids to the playground without leaving my complex, I can do that. If I want to walk on trails and stuff like that without leaving my complex, I can do that. So that's the type of lifestyle I deal with every single day living here. I don't really have to leave my complex, right? If I don't want to. There's a lot of things I can do in it, right? But what are things that I do outside of that? Disney World, for one. Disney World's a big, big, big attraction in Orlando. That's just a fact. So anyone that's going to say that, oh, Orlando's not all about Disney World, yes and no. Disney is a big selling point for people here. It is one of our top of the line things you can do. Um, I go to the parks all the time. I'm an annual pass holder.
Yeah, you
What are
go
the
there
perks of
every
it?
day. It seems like.
Yeah, what are the perks of it, right? I can literally go to Disney just to walk around sometimes. Sometimes I just want to walk around. I don't even want to do rides. Sometimes I just want to walk
Wow,
around,
that's
enjoy the
crazy.
beautiful
Just go to
weather,
Disney just to walk around.
exercise. Yeah, you get your steps in. And sometimes I go to Epcot just to get a drink or just to get some food and just
Wow.
chill with my friends or with the family, right? Sometimes it's not all about the rides. And that's the one of the benefits of living here is when I used to go to Disney, when I lived in Miami, every time we'd go up with this hardcore plan. Like we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, we got to do that, right? Because we're not going to come back for like the next 4 or 5 months, right? Get our money's worth. But when you live here, you can go whenever the hell you want. It's only a 20-minute drive for me from Davenport. So I will say that because of that, I've been able to truly enjoy Disney for what it actually is. I'm able to enjoy not just the rides, I can enjoy the stores it offers, the food, the events, the fireworks, the shows. I can do everything. I don't have to do it all in one day. I can do it in like days apart. I can do 3 days in the same park, right? With my annual pass, right? I can live that life. So yes, people are going to say, "Oh, but the annual passes are expensive." So if you do the math on how much it is to go for one day, it's extremely expensive itself.
Yeah, it's
So for
crazy.
a family like mine, me, my wife, my 4 kids, yeah, the annual pass is expensive. So I will say that as a con of it, it is expensive. But you have the money, if you have the finance to afford it, and you love to go to Disney World, and you want to be able to experience what it's like to be able to actually enjoy the park as a whole, that is one of the magical things about living here. You're actually able to do that. And it's the same thing with Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Typically, like it's the same thing. I could just go there to walk around at City Walk and enjoy all the nice restaurants that they have there. They've got some really, really cool things like the chocolate factories there. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You've got Cowfish. I love to eat at Cowfish at City Walk.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good place. Um, and now Epic Universe. I'm a Nintendo guy, by the way. I love Nintendo. I grew up playing Nintendo since I was a kid. I am a gamer, and I got to go to Epic Universe, and I got to see Nintendo World. I've always wanted to see it, and the fact that I got to live that dream, it felt like I was a kid. It was, and what made it feel even nicer was that I live here, and if I want to go back, I can go back whenever I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are just some of the perks, right, of having annual passes and stuff like that. But yes, it's not just Disney, Epic Universe, Universal, right? Um, we have something called World of Food Trucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's located in Kissimmee, Florida. So if you're worried about food, there's, I mean, guys, there's so many food trucks that you could think of with all the different types of variety of food that
Mm-hmm.
you will not be disappointed, right? I love going to that. That's honestly a nice little spot to go to. It's only like 20-ish minutes from my house as well. Um, just little things like that. Obviously we have malls, Millennium Mall, which is a really nice mall. We
Yeah.
have the Outlet Mall as well, the Florida Mall. Those are really nice malls as well. I will say the Outlet Mall is a little bit crazy though. That one, the parking is atrocious there. Let's say we have Disney Springs as well. We love going to Disney Springs. We go there all the time, sometimes just to walk around. Gideon's Bakeries there, guys. Amazing cookies, but the line's pretty bad. But it looks bad,
Yeah.
but it looks worse than what it actually is. You've got a good place to eat burgers. You have Guys Chicken there. That chicken, I love going to that place to eat chicken. You have the Coca-Cola factory there as well. So, I mean, yeah, BMC Theater there's there as well to watch movies. If you want to be at Disney Springs and do something after the movie at Disney Springs, you can do that.
Yeah.
Um, and what else? We have Icon Park, which is also a really nice little spot to go to. Where they have a bunch of little strip malls there. You got like restaurants. You got a giant Ferris wheel there that you can pay a little money to enjoy. So you can really see a really beautiful view of Orlando. You can see everything. Epcot, all that. You can see it all from up there. Really, really nice. Um, I mean, I gotta say, man. I mean, there is a good amount of stuff. I mean, if you go an hour and a half or 2 hours up north, like you can do stuff like this, like a Rainbow Falls. There's that. There's Devil's Den. Those are just that's like a it's pretty much like a springs, like a cold water spring or whatever. You can swim, you can enjoy it. Um, that's the kind of stuff you do up north, right? But we do have some of that stuff close by. When you're in Central Florida and you go more north, you start to experience those nature things, outdoor things like hiking. You're seeing it's more like it's hard to explain, but in Miami, it's more city. There's not
Hmm.
much to do in terms of like nature. But if you want to do hiking, you want to see animals, you want to see deers, you want to see bears, you want to see all that stuff. From Central Florida up, you will see plenty of that. And as you go
Yeah.
more north, you see more of it. Jacksonville's only like an hour and a half ish, almost 2 hours away from here. So if you want to go to Jacksonville, which is even more quiet, you can do that. If you want to go to Tampa, you can do that. I only have to drive an hour ish, hour and a half to get to Tampa. So if you want to do Clearwater Beach, which is a beautiful beach, by the way, very, very nice place. It's a bit of a drive, but beautiful beach. I just went to a beach called, I think it was called Maria Island. Very, very nice beach as well. That's around the Tampa area as well. You could also go to Cocoa Beach, which is kind of around Port Canaveral. And something else you can do here as well, if you like to go cruising, we have a Port Canaveral. We have a lot of ships that come here: Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Disney Cruise Line, MSC. So there is even that. And so cruising industry is very big here as well. Miami, we have Port of Miami, you have Fort Lauderdale Port, where you have like the Oasis class ships from Royal Caribbean, like Allure of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas, um,
Yeah, there's a lot of
Icon of
stuff.
the Seas. Yeah, I'm actually going on Star of the Seas in September, right? For example, I'm actually going to experience it for the first time. But biggest ship in the world, but we have all access to that here, living in Orlando. So there is a lot of different things you can do here. We have museums too. Space Kennedy Center, which is by Port Canaveral, which is very, very cool. I very much recommend if you come visit, definitely check that out if you're into NASA and all that stuff. And yeah, man, I'm just like, for me, there's no limits to what you can do here other than snow and stuff, but it's just a relaxed life, bro. So one day you wake up and I just want to go to the beach. I can go to the beach. One day I wake up, I
Hmm.
want to go to the pool. I go to the pool. One day I just want to just sit out in my backyard under my pergola and enjoy that Florida weather. Read a book. I could do that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
There's no limits. I could do it all year round. And the best part is when it gets to the winter time, when it gets mellow, where it's not too hot, it's not too cold, but it's just perfect. Where you could be outside and you don't sweat and there's no bugs. It's just, man, when I have to say that that is one thing that I'm very grateful to get to experience every year is that. That's been in Orlando. Miami, sorry, hate to break it to y'all, it is hot as hell Miami all year round. You get maybe like 2 weeks, maybe the most of cold weather. Orlando, you actually get cold weather for like a good
Right.
3 or 4 months. So, like I said, there is a lot of good things and fun things you can do here. So I can go on, but um, I would say we should get to the next topic, right?
Yeah, no,
So
for sure. Dude, talking about parks and nature on that one. Uh, Now we're gonna get into, you know, just like family, which place do you think is like better in terms of, just having family entertainment and things like that to do, you know. I think
hmm.
when it comes to New York, the one thing that I like in particular is I like the different types of options that there are, for just museums, right? Like there are so many different types of museums that you can go
Mhm.
to, in the city, in Long Island. We take our kids all the time. We take them to art museums. We took them to the aviation museum, which is pretty cool the other day. It's a museum in Long Island. It just shows the history of all these different types of planes and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. There's just so many different places that you could take your kids like that you could take your kids to in terms of museums and stuff. There's entertainment, different types of shows that you could take your kids to. There's all types of aquariums, there's zoos. We take our kids to the zoos all the time. There's the Bronx Zoo, that's really
Right.
popular. So like there's so many different like things that you could do in terms of places that you can take your kids. There's Six Flags. Is a place that we like to go to a lot. Different water parks. There's this one place called American Dream Mall that we love to take our kids to. It's actually has apparently the biggest water park that there is in the entire country. The biggest indoor water park.
Indoor water park, yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. So we take them there all the time. During the winter time, it comes in handy when it's really cold outside. They have indoor skiing, indoor snowboarding, which is pretty cool. They have Nickelodeon World. There's so many different things that you could do, in this mall. So I think like just overall in terms of things that you could do for your kids, like there's just like an endless amount of things, like endless amount of places that you can take them.
Hmm.
We're very big on going to the beach. Like so during the summertime, we're hitting the beach all the time. We go to Robert Moses State Park. You just relax. I'm very
Hmm.
much like an outdoorsy kind of person. I just like to just relax and take in nature. So I'm big on like hiking and stuff like that. So there's so many trails that we could go out to in Long Island when it comes to like hiking and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think New York has all of that to offer. I know Florida has a lot to offer in terms of that. Um, as well. But I think, New York covers all those things. I think again, it just comes down to Florida. You guys have that nice weather that we don't
Yep.
get all the
Yep. So
time,
it makes enjoying those things even better.
Yeah.
Um, just because like I'll be honest, your summers are pretty brutal, man. I mean, we have
Yeah,
some brutal
summertime is just
summers.
it's just way too hot, man. That's the only thing I gotta say
Yeah,
is
like
like summer.
summer summer is tough. Even to do Disney World, even to go out and do all that, it's tough. It's hot as hell, I'll be honest. Um, it's not something I like to do, but I will say your summers, I've been there. They're brutal.
Yeah,
So, and I
yeah, yeah.
know
It's too
those are the
much.
moments or those are the times for you guys to do those things. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like you're on a ticking time clock. When that summer ends and the fall comes in, the cold starts rolling through, you start thinking twice about doing all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why to me, like Florida has that edge just because you can do all those things all year round. There is no limitation. You don't have to worry about the cold. You don't got to worry about snow ruining your day. You can do all of those things. And I mean,
Yeah.
when you're able to do those things in 60 to 70-degree weather for like 3 to 4 months, that to me has been one of the biggest sell points for me since I've lived here. That I can't exaggerate because I lived in Miami my whole life. Orlando, I've actually gotten to enjoy beautiful cold weather for months at a time. And I've been able to like go to Disney World and walk around. And I sweat, dude. When it's hot, like I don't do good in hot weather. I get sweat, I get uncomfortable, my clothes get sticky. But when it's
Yeah.
beautiful, bro, I can walk around Disney and have no issues like that. I don't sweat at all, barely at anything. When I tell you it gets that nice here, where you can enjoy those things, it gives you a different perspective of like, wow, like this is what it's like living in Orlando. And I don't know why I didn't jump on this sooner.
Hmm.
I could have done all this stuff in this type of weather. Because that's still get me wrong. When you lived in Miami, you would go to Disney World in the summertime because that's when kids are off from school. That was when it was easiest for the family and all of us to go together at the same time because the little kids weren't in school. But everybody's there and it's hot as hell. The lines are
Yeah,
horrible
yeah.
and you're
That's
sweating
one thing I wish
bullets.
I wish we had Disney World. That's one thing I wish we had
I
up
just,
here. Like
and
Disney
I
World
talk
is
about
like
Disney World because we have an annual pass, we go a lot. But I will say, like, I can say that New York does have a lot of things to do. I can admit that you guys do have a little bit of some extra things that we don't have, like snowboarding, skiing. You guys may have some more museums than what we have here. Not saying that we don't have museums, we
Yeah, in
do.
the city, when you go to Manhattan, there's a lot of that. Like there's like hundreds of museums that you can go to. Um, in the city, and there's so many different places you could take your kids. Like there's like this we took
Yeah.
our daughters to like Bluey World the other day. Like they have so many different places in the city that you go to like for museums and stuff like that. But I know
Hard to
Orlando
pick
has a
one.
lot of places too, and Florida does too,
Orlando,
but
we have there's
you
there's
know,
tons of places, man. It all boils down to lifestyle, what you love more. And I think weather is a big part. Um,
Yeah,
and
I think
it's
the weather is the
also
main thing.
yeah, I think weather is going to be one of the main top three things that you're looking at. It's also going to be, obviously home value and all that stuff here as well. Um, Obviously, the value of homes are better here. You get more for your money here than you will in New York, right? So, in terms of being able to live a comfortable life, live in nice weather, you don't have to probably think too much on expenses like you probably do in New York. I know the expenses can get crazy over there. Um, I just think overall, it just depends on the person, right? I'm not going to say everyone's living comfortable. I think it's been hard for everyone recently to buy a house or buy a home and whatnot with the prices and the interest rates and whatnot. So I'm not going to say buying a house here is easier. I'm just going to be straight that our home values, the prices have more value. You get more value for what you'll find in New York. So I feel like if you put that together with the weather, with all the things that you can do, and obviously you have a family, you have kids, and you want
Yeah,
to take them to the pool all the time. You want to be outdoors with them all the time, and give them that lifestyle. That's here. You don't have limitations. So I feel like Florida just has that edge where,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we may not have as much as you guys do, but in terms of what we can do all the time, there's no stopping. I mean, there are some people who still go to Disney when it's 100 degrees outside.
hmm
They do it all year round.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
you guys. I
personally do
feel like you
it.
get after a while, you get adjusted to how hot it gets. I mean, for me, like when I go to Florida in the summertime, it's too much for me. Too much.
I'll
Yeah.
be honest with you.
You guys
It's
get those like
brutal.
little fans, like the
From the hats.
the humidity fans or whatever. You need those out there. We don't have them as much out here, but out there, you guys have them everywhere.
Yeah, man. It's just the truth, bro. It can be rough during the summer here. I will admit to that. It gets rough, but I will say that there's definitely a lot of value here in terms of what you can do. Since I've lived here, I gotta say, I will never go back to Miami. That's number one. I will never move back there. Cost of living is atrocious. It's way too hot down there all the time. The humidity and heat all year round. There's not, in my opinion, there's just not as much to do there as there is in Orlando. Orlando just has, in my opinion, more restaurants, more variety of food options. Um, you have more like like amenities from different communities you can use to give you depending on who you know, right? Some
Yeah.
people may live in a community that has really nice amenities, and when they invite you over, you have access to those amenities. So that's something that people don't think about. They'll say, "Oh, but I can't afford to live in that complex," right?
hmm
But if you know someone who lives in that complex and they you want to hang out with them, you can use their amenities. That's just something that you know there's so much there's no limits to what you can do here. So it's also like, I mean, if you know people and you know what I mean, you're a people person, it's also like a good place, Florida. Um,
Yeah, I
there's a
feel like
lot
people
of
down
like
there are more friendly.
yeah,
I'm
and
not saying
something
people in New
big
York are
down
not
here.
friendly, but it's just different. I feel like it's
Yeah.
like more laid back. Like, people just are not like as in a rush to do whatever they want. Like in New York, everyone's just very like go-getter.
Hmm.
Whereas down there, I feel like everyone's a little more laid back. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's more of that community aspect down there than you'll find in New York in a lot of places in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and we have golf here. Right? Golf is huge here.
Yeah.
I live in a community that has a golf course. And people are always out there golfing and golfing. We have one in Champions Gate. There's golfing there. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think
there's
you
no
guys do have better golf down there. I mean, we have golf courses up
yeah
here, but I think the golfing down there is probably a different level than what we have up here for sure.
tennis. Tennis is huge here. Pickleball is huge here now. Soccer, um,
I'm not really a big soccer guy.
basketball. The Miami Heat. Come on. I mean, that's something about Miami I can't let go. The Miami
Mm,
Heat. I will
yeah, yeah,
always
yeah.
root for the Miami Heat. Obviously, I do root for the Orlando Magic a bit now too. Um,
Yeah, you never talk about the Magic ever.
No, I just send you guys memes of the song because I love the song. The Orlando Magic song. I send it to you that all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, but they have a good
But
team
yeah,
though.
no, they do. They do.
They got
The
a good
Orlando
team.
Magic were a good team. The Heat though, we're gonna be a better team this year with
Yeah,
Giannis.
man. I think probably a top four team,
Yeah, and
you know,
you
in
know,
the East.
and I don't know. I don't know if people want us to talk about the LeBron thing, but where's
Yeah,
LeBron
we'll
going?
see. We'll see. I don't know. LeBron's been dragging it out. I'm wondering where he's gonna go.
Who knows? Maybe the Knicks.
Maybe. There's rumors. There's rumors. There's
You
rumors,
never know, bro. I don't know. We don't know where he's going.
you
But
know.
man, I gotta say, in terms of family vibes between both, I'm still gonna just stick to my guns and say it just depends on lifestyle because there's plenty of things you can do with the family in New York. There's plenty of family things you can do here in Central Florida, right? It depends on the values and what you care for. If expenses and stuff are not a problem for you in New York and you love the busy life, New York's your avenue, right?
Yeah.
Um, but if you love the warm weather, you're looking for something that's going to be more value in terms of money. Like you want expenses to be as low as possible. You plan to retire soon. You have a family, a big family, um, and you like to be outdoors all the time. Florida is your pick, right? Florida is your better vibe there. It just depends on what you're looking for. And like I said, for any buyer that's looking to buy here, those are the important questions you got to ask yourself. Like, you know, what is it that you value? What is the lifestyle that you want? Do you want the snow? Do you not want the snow? Do you want the warm weather? Do you hate the warm weather? Do
Yeah.
you want cheaper expenses? Do you want more? Can you afford to have the more expensive lifestyle, which is going to be New York? Let's just flat out honest. I mean, New York is expensive. I'm not
Too
going to say
expensive.
yeah, I'm not gonna say it's not expensive here. Our wages are horrible here. I think that's what's killing Florida for sure. Is the wages is hard. I mean, I don't think people are making enough money here to pay for the cost of living that we have here. But I will say, if you compare the cost of living we have here compared to New York, I mean, I gotta admit, when I hear the property taxes you guys got and all the
Out
taxes
of
you have to pay on
control.
your paychecks, yeah, it can get it's a lot. But I will say your wages are not bad though. I will say your wages
Nah,
seem
our
to be
wages are
better.
bad. Our wages are terrible.
Really?
Yeah, not good.
Really?
Well, I mean,
What
in
can you say
comparison to the
about
rest
that?
of, what'd you say?
What can you say about wages in New York? Have you felt
Well,
like
I mean,
wages
if you make, if this is gonna sound very offensive to a lot of people, but if you make like $100,000 in New York, like you're basically like I remember $100,000 used to be considered like you were killing it. $100,000 is tough. Like you're barely getting by now in New York.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of jobs that just are not paying much more than that, like they're all paying like in that kind of $100,000, 120,000 type of range. And if you're making that, you know, you're kind of just getting by. Like you're back a long time ago, you were able to really thrive making $100,000. Like now, you're not really. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight, And if you're a family and you both make $120,000 each, you're good if you're just together. But then if you guys have a kid, you start having a family, that's where it gets expensive because the daycare and
Yeah.
everything is so expensive. So a
Yep.
lot of people see the wages here and they think, we make so much money here, but the cost of living is just is crazy.
Yeah.
Like me and my
It's getting
wife,
worse.
we spend uh a lot of money, like thousands of dollars on daycare a month. It's like,
That's
and
crazy.
then it's like you're just spending so much on everything. Um, it all adds up. It really adds up. And I really don't know how most people survive day to day. It's really tough, and if you're a really high income maker in New York, like really, really high, then that's great. But for the average person who's making less than 100 grand, it's really hard. It's really tough. You
Mhm.
end up, stuck renting, or it's hard to buy a home. It's really hard. You got to come up with huge down payments a lot of times to really be competitive. It's the
Yeah.
reality, It's not impossible to get a house with a low down payment, but you really gotta, you gotta come. It's very competitive, especially in Long Island,
Hmm.
And if you don't have a pretty sizable down payment, your mortgage is going to be $6,000 plus you're looking at,
Man, that's
as,
crazy, man.
so if you want your mortgage to be like in the 3,000s or something like that, you're gonna have to fork up a big down payment, like six figures plus. I
That's
know
crazy,
it's just
bro.
like, I know
I
it's just, it sounds
it's
crazy. I know it
that's
sounds
rough.
crazy.
That's rough. But I mean,
It's
I have to
just,
even say, I mean, that's rough just hearing that. I mean, even I'll even say in Florida, it's been hard on us Floridians as well. Especially coming from Miami. That was one of the reasons why I left. It became financially impossible for us to survive. Um,
yeah,
Thankfully, I had a
man.
lot of equity in my home, and I was able to buy a much bigger home here, and keep us afloat. We're paying way less than what we paid in Miami, and we're doing well right now. I'm not gonna say we're rich or anything like that, but I will say that in terms of like wages down here, that has been something that's been just terrible, terrible for years on years on years. I mean, cost of living has been a problem for a century. I mean, Floridians have been complaining about it forever now, and still waiting on a resolution. Because it's hard. It's hard to buy homes here. It does. I mean, it's not easy to buy homes here either. Even though the
Yeah.
prices may look better, we mean on paper, which they are. There's definitely opportunity here, guys, to buy. I'm not gonna say there's no opportunity. You do have homes as low in the high 200s here that you can find in Orlando. You can find it. In the outskirts, you can find it. It's here. I've seen them. I've walked them. I can that we could talk about that in a different video. But
Yeah.
um, it depends on the family, depends on your budget, and depends on how much you can afford. But I know people from out of state are flooding in here with cash when they sell their homes. But I know Floridians who are, let's say, they're trying to move out of Miami and they're trying to come up here. It's a tough transition, especially if you don't have
Yeah.
like equity from a home to use, right? If you're just going based off of a savings account that you got, that you've bottled up some money, you only have so much for a down payment. That very much limits you to what you can afford, right? So it also depends on how much you make. You got to get a job. There's different variables that have to be met, right? It's not impossible, but I think we both can agree that. I mean, yeah, New York's very expensive, but I will say in Florida it is expensive to live here as well.
Yeah.
It just it all boils down to what lifestyle you prefer to live in. Um, and yeah, it just depends on budget, what you can afford, and whatever fits your needs in terms of lifestyle, you go with that. Uh,
I think it's definitely tougher in New York and Florida though. I mean, in New York overall.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
I
I
think
think there's a
I think
reason
the
why
inventory is
all of
the big
you are
problem.
flying down here and buying houses like crazy. It's But I can agree. I mean, if you're struggling down there, but you have a ton of money in equity, you can buy a house in Florida in cash
Yeah,
and have
yeah.
no more mortgage. And now property taxes are going down. And then there's also talks on homeowners insurance. Citizens, state farms have cut rates down on premiums on homeowners insurance as high as 7%.
That's
So it's
one of the best opportunities right now is the fact that New York is a seller's market and Florida is a buyer's market. I was
Mhm,
reading something the other day that talked about that's one of the only times that we've ever seen that,
mhm.
you know? So if you're struggling in New York, that was a good time to cash in on that equity and buy something in Florida, because
Yeah,
buying in New
I
York
will
is
say
tough right now. It really is.
that the demand here is growing to the point where infrastructure, schools, restaurants are being built. So what's going to happen, guys, in the next 3 to 5 years is property values are going to appreciate. And if you're thinking about making the move here, you got to really think to yourself, where am I going to be in the next 3 to 5 years? Right? Sometimes you have to take a leap. Sometimes if you want that lifestyle and you have the means, you have the variables in place to make it happen, a lot of the times we psych ourselves out and we say, I can't do it. It's too much. What if this happens? What if that happens? I made the leap to come here when I saw if I stayed in Miami, we were going to go underwater. I said, if we don't do something now, we're going to be in trouble. So we're going to take the leap and we're going to leave. And we left our family behind. We were alone in Orlando for 2 years, but we made that jump because we knew that's what was best for us. That's what we both wanted. We wanted the lifestyle of Orlando because we loved it here every time we visit. We wanted a lifestyle where we weren't stressing about our finances every single day, where we could live to see another day, give our kids a bigger house, a backyard they could love, give them a lifestyle they deserve to have. And that was the means of why we left, right? Why we moved, right? But the real question is, are people going to take advantage, right, of the opportunity that you could have in Florida? You could definitely find something for good value here, but it just depends on the lifestyle you want, the variables you're sitting on, and the attitude that you have. Are you ready to take a leap? Because that's what it takes. It takes a leap. It takes putting yourself in an uncomfortable position. It
Yeah.
also takes trusting an expert, a realtor who's going to be honest with you and who's going to walk you through that process. Because I know how stressful that is, right? So you're not wrong, Nigel. I mean, I don't blame people from New York and from Nevada and California. I don't blame them from buying houses. I don't blame them. You sell your house for six, $700,000, and you got like tons of money and equity to use. I could see people easily coming here and buying a house. It just makes financial sense, and
Yeah.
I get it. People want to live a comfortable life, where the lifestyle is beautiful, and then you don't have a mortgage. It makes so much sense to me. I get it, as I'm a family guy. I get it. So I don't disagree with you. I think now is definitely a good time to buy before our prices get out of reach for people. And then 3 to 5 years from now, you'll think to yourself, damn, man, the prices were that house used to be 350 grand. Now it's like 450 grand or 400,000. That's just speculating, but that could happen. Um, Prices are definitely going to go up here. By how much the next 3 to 5 years, I have no idea. But I will say that house prices are appreciating here. They probably will continue to appreciate within the next 3 to 5 years. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like here in Orlando after all the new builds have been built, all the new infrastructure has been built, all the roads have been updated and restructured to deal with the more heavy traffic of citizens living in Orlando, or in Florida in general. But I will say, both places have their challenges, man. New York's
Yeah.
going to have its challenges. Florida's going to have its challenges. But the real overall question you got to ask yourself is, which one fits your life? Which one has the things you like more? Do you like Disney or Dorney Park? Do you like going to, you like skiing and snowboarding and you cherish that life more than being in the hot weather all day? I mean, you got, like I said, there's just so many different variables, man. We can go on and on. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
New
we
York
can.
sucks. I can
I
respect.
think we should say that for another episode. I think the next episode will be a good I think we got some good stuff we could talk about for the next episode in terms of just talking about the affordability and just the real things people are going through. I think that's
Yeah,
something that'd be good to talk about, you know.
yeah. I feel like affordability is definitely a big topic
Yeah.
that people are talking about right now, because I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, Florida's great, but it's expensive." Like I'm not gonna disagree with you, buddy. It is expensive. It is expensive to live here. I've lived here my whole life, and I will tell you firsthand, it's expensive here. It's not cheap. Not for me. If you got a ton of money, by all means, you can live that comfortable life for sure, right? You have the advantage. Like, if you want to make that jump, you should. But
Yeah.
for some people, we don't got that type of money. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough down here. It is, just because prices seem better, right? Doesn't mean the grass is always greener, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the family. It depends on the person. I'm not saying it's impossible to live a comfortable life here in Florida. You definitely can live that dream. It's definitely there. Um, you just have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get that, right, or get that job, work harder, you know look into a business. There's so many different avenues you can go, but in this world right now, I think everyone's living in that survival mode. What do I
Yeah.
have to do to survive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, yeah, but that's definitely a topic for another video for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think we killed it with this one, just talking about, some of the things that we could do in both of the places, I think it was a
Yeah.
good episode. If you guys have any questions, anything that you want to ask us, me, a guy living in New York, and Joey, a guy living in Florida, feel free to reach out to us. And if you're looking to make a move, feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is down below. We can help you with the process between moving between states. Make it
Yep.
seamlessly, one-stop shop. You don't got to worry about having one realtor in another state, who's going to be a realtor in another state. We can both handle it for you in
Yep.
one transaction. So
Yep. We can make that dream come true, guys. We
that's
can
it.
definitely
That's
help
it.
the process be smoothless. And we're two realtors that care about being honest and building trust and building a relationship and giving you value. We're not in it to screw you. We're in it to help change your life for the better because we both know, as honest men and honest family men, that we know how hard it is, and we know the stress that comes with that process, and how big the decision that is. So definitely feel free to ask us questions. Definitely feel free to reach out to us if you have questions on the areas, whether it's New York or Florida. We'll be more than willing to help you out just to answer your question. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I appreciate the time, Nigel. It was definitely great chatting with you again, as always. We will definitely be releasing our next episode next week. I think it looks like we're going to be getting together on Wednesday to talk on the next topic. We will definitely post a little teaser of what the topic will officially be. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in and watching our episode. I hope it gave you some value, and definitely for sure give us some comments if you got any questions. All right.
All right, you guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.
All right, guys. Peace.
Later.
Later.